Hello, aspiring professionals. Welcome back to Legalopolis. In today's video, we will dive into the fascinating world of L1 visa interviews. Whether you are an aspiring executive or an innovative tech guru, this video will unravel the secrets of a successful L1 visa interview. Here, we will explore the unique challenges you might face and also sprinkle in some tips to ensure you shine in the spotlight. So, friends, let's embark on this exciting journey together. Now, first, a quick recap of L1 visa. As we've already learned in our previous video, L1 visa is part of the intra-company transferee program, which enables employees of a foreign company to temporarily work in its United States office. This visa facilitates multinational corporations in leveraging the expertise of their existing workforce across international borders, ensuring smooth operations and knowledge transfer within the organization. Large corporations benefit significantly from the L1 blanket petition, wherein all employees can be approved together, bypassing the need for individual approvals from the USCIS. However, individual applicants still have to undergo the interview process. The aim of interview is to assess the applicant's qualifications, intentions, and suitability for their intended role in the United States. And therefore, in this video, we will look at the different questions that can be asked in a visa interview and focus on how to answer them effectively. Normally, the visa officer does not have a lot of time. They would normally give you not more than 3 to 4 minutes for your interview. So preparation is key here. And therefore, friends, without any further ado, let's jump straight into the world of L1 visa interviews. Now, friends, normally during the process of interview, the visa officer will ask for your passport, DS-160 confirmation page, your approved L1 petition. Please check on the embassy's website the number of copies you need to carry. Normally, it is 3 copies of your approved L1 petition, appointment confirmation, and payment of visa fee receipts. So please make sure to keep these handy and easily accessible. The interview normally starts with some general questions like, which visa are you applying for? And here clearly answer, I'm applying for L1A or L1B visa. Then they could ask you to verify your name, contact information. Please here mention your name, your address, phone number, and also your email address if necessary. They could ask you if you have previously traveled to the United States. If you have not traveled, then it is simple. No, I have never been to the United States. And if you have traveled, then please mention the month and the year when you were in the United States. And if you've traveled and answered yes, they might ask you, when did you return from your previous visit to the United States? And here, you must mention clearly the date when you came back to your home country, because these dates and times can always be corroborated in the system. They might also ask the visa type on which you traveled, so be prepared to answer this question as well. Then they might ask you if you've ever been denied a US visa before. Now, if you've never been denied, it's a simple answer. No, I have never been denied a US visa before. But if you have been denied a visa before, please answer, yes, I have been denied a visa before. Please make sure you are prepared to answer more questions about when was the visa denied, on what grounds was it denied, and please remember, if your visa was subsequently approved, remember to mention that as well. Friends, in this question, make sure to answer all the questions honestly, because these answers can easily be cross-checked by the visa officer. So friends, after these initial questions, the visa officer might ask you more specific questions about your current role and responsibilities, your work experience, and then your role in the United States. The main aim of the interview is to understand if you are genuinely a manager or an executive or a person with specialized knowledge. and therefore make sure to prepare your answers properly. Normally, the first question, which is more specific to your work domain, would be what is the purpose of your visit? And here your answer should be, I am traveling to the United States to work for, name your company in the United States in the capacity of whatever is your designation. For example, I am traveling to the United States to work as a program director at XYZ America. Then they could ask you, what is the name and nature of your current employer? Now here you must tell the name of your current company where you are working, that is in your home country, and also provide details about the business and the nature of work your current organization is engaged in. Now they would like to know, how long have you been working for your current employer? And here simply mention the number of years you have been with this particular company. Now remember that any L1 visa applicant must have been working in this company, in their current company, for a minimum of 1 year. So make sure that you answer very, very carefully. Then comes the next question. What is your professional work experience, or what is your overall job experience? Now here, the visa officer wants to know how long have you been in the workforce and the different roles and responsibilities that you have taken professionally. So here your answer must contain, number 1, a brief information about your overall work experience in years, that I have been working for the last 10 years or 5 years. Number 2, you could mention the name of some of the companies where you have previously worked and also a crisp description of your role and responsibilities that you held while you were working in those companies. And then you could briefly mention your current company and your designation and your role. Now, if the officer asks, do you have any proof? Please make sure to carry, number 1, a neat and well-organized copy of your CV. Number 2, proof of your previous employments, like your employment letters. Number 3, similar proof of employment with your current employer. It could be your employment contract or a letter signed by a senior HR manager on company's letterhead, clearly mentioning your date of joining and your current designation. They can also ask you, can you describe your role and job responsibilities in the current company? Now friends, this is your make and break question. So prepare very well for this question. Now here you must always mention your designation, the specific department in the company where you work. Alright? And thereafter elaborate on your roles and responsibilities in the company. So if you're applying for an L1A visa, you have to show yourself as a leader or a manager or an executive. And your answer must contain words like I manage, I lead, or I direct, I oversee. And you must be able to show a few things like, number 1, you have a team that you manage. Number 2, you are not the one doing everything. Instead, you oversee your team's actions, you guide them, you direct them, and you create a strategy for your team to take forward. Number 3, you are responsible for hiring and firing people in your team. Number 4, you are responsible for their promotions. Number 5, you are responsible for approving your team's leaves. So basically what you have to show here is that you can work independently, take independent decisions without too much supervision. And friends, if you are an L1B visa applicant, then you must demonstrate that you possess, number 1, specialized and in-depth knowledge about companies' products, equipments, techniques, services, tools, software, or processes. Always try to use words like you have expertise, or you possess unique knowledge, or you have a specialized skill, and thereafter elaborate on the area of your work. If you have developed some tools for your company, some specific software for your company, please do specify and mention the same as well. And if the visa officer says, do you have any evidence to prove the same? In those situations, to substantiate your answer, always carry number 1, an organizational chart where you can show that you have a team under you. Number 2, your employment contract or employment letter mentioning your designation, role, and responsibility. Number 3, a detailed letter from your direct supervisor or HR manager on your company's letterhead mentioning in detail and with a lot of clarity your role in managerial or specialized knowledge capacity. It should outline your roles and responsibilities, and it should show that a majority portion of your work falls in managerial, executive, or a specialized knowledge capacity. If you are an L1B applicant, then any work product or some program, some tools, some software that you built as a result of your expertise and specialized knowledge will be very helpful. Number 5, you could also carry a printout of internal emails or screenshots where you have approved leaves or expenses or hired or fired an employee. But friends, please check with your HR department, legal department before downloading or printing any email. Always be in compliance with your company's privacy policies. Then they might ask you, what is your monthly or yearly salary? Now you can say my gross annual salary is this much. Please don't mention the money in US dollars. They want to know what is your salary that is paid to you in your home country. So it should be the currency in which you are getting paid now. And as a proof, please carry your salary slip or your bank statements where you clearly highlight the salary deposited in your account, or an employment letter mentioning your designation and salary. Now, another important question that they might ask you is how many employees are directly and indirectly reporting to you. Based on your organizational chart, you can mention, as a manager and executive, I have these many employees who directly report to me, and I have these many employees who are indirectly reporting to me. If you are an L1B applicant, then you can say that I'm a specialist in this area and I'm responsible for leading a team of, say, these many employees, and I work collaboratively with my team to achieve certain objectives. Then they could ask you to name a few people who are your direct reportees. So please memorize the name and designation of a few direct reportees. This is not a very frequent question. They just want to see as a manager how well you know about your direct reportees. Then they might ask you, when was the last time you hired and fired an employee? Answer this question appropriately, truthfully, and with clarity. And as a proof, please check with your HR or legal department if you can carry a proof of hiring or firing with you, which is usually in the form of a company email to substantiate your claim. They could ask you, did you go through a training program? Now, if you went through a training program, you can always mention that, yes, I underwent this and this training, and just as a proof of the same, carry a certificate of completion of that training. And if you haven't gone through a training program, you can also mention that honestly. Then another important question is, why are you seeking transfer to the United States? Now, during an L1 visa interview, it is very important to strategically align your reasons with the object of the intra-company transferee program. Tailor your response to emphasize your managerial competence, your knowledge, specific role, and how your transfer supports the organization's goal and helps your company expand their expertise in the US market. Ensure coherence in your explanation, and here you must specify how your presence will be crucial for the success of a project or functioning of a US office, or in some cases for the establishment of a new office. You could also mention that your presence will provide for an opportunity for collaboration, innovation, and expansion of business operations in the United States. Or you could mention that you have to travel to closely work with your client and partners in the United States and foster stronger relationships and enhance the overall efficiency of your operations. And if you're managing a cross-border project, explain how your physical presence facilitates communication and streamlines your operations in the States. Make sure that your answers are aligned to the information that you provided in Form I-129 or 129S and DS-160 to make sure there is no discrepancy between what you say and what is in the form. And as a proof, make sure to carry your transfer letter with you, because your transfer letter will have detailed information about your roles and responsibilities that you will be shouldering while in the United States. Then they might ask you, how long do you intend to stay in the United States? And here you can say that I will be in the United States for the duration of my visa, that is 3 years. If you will not be continuously present in the US, then mention that also. Then they might ask you, where will you be working in the United States? Now here, you must mention the address which you mentioned in Form I-129S or I-129, because that is the main address where you will be working. It could either be your company's office in the United States or it could be your company's client office in the United States. So please be clear when you prepare this answer. They could ask you, what are your duties in your new job in the United States? Now here, mention clearly what all functions you will be performing. If you are applying for L1A, make sure to mention the managerial and executive responsibilities where you are delegating, supervising, overseeing, directing your subordinates. If you are applying for an L1B visa, make sure to mention how you will use your expertise in training other employees, or how you will leverage your specialized knowledge for furthering the growth of your company in the United States, or how you will use your specialized knowledge for a certain project that is going on in the United States. Then they might also ask you, what will be your compensation or remuneration in the United States? Please mention clearly as per what is written in your L1 petition. They might ask you who will be paying your salary in the US. And here it is essential to explicitly state that your salary will be covered by the US entity. However, if your primary work location is in your home country with occasional visits to the United States, then you can also mention that your salary will be paid by the company in your home country, and the company will also pay for and cover all your expenses while you travel to the United States. Then they will ask you, where will you be staying in the US? Now here you can mention a hotel or the name of a friend with whom you might be staying. But please remember, your answer must be the same as mentioned by you in your L1 petition and Form DS-160. Now they might ask you, who will you report to and where are they based? Normally, here you must mention the name and designation of your boss to whom you will be reporting. For example, my direct supervisor will be ABC, who is the Vice President of Operations, and he is based out of Los Angeles, California. They might also ask you, will you have budget control? And here always answer truthfully. If you have budget control, then you can say, yes, I have control over the budget of these many dollars under my direct authority for the purposes of my project. And if not, then you can always say, I won't have direct control over the budget. However, I will be working closely with my supervisor and the finance department on my project-related expenses. Then they could ask you, are you responsible for the P&L of your unit? P&L is basically profit and loss of your unit. Now here, if you are not responsible, of course you will say, no, I'm not responsible for the P&L of my unit. Or if you are, which as a manager in most likelihood you would be, then you can say that yes, I oversee the financial performance of my unit, including revenue generation and cost management. You could also mention that you participate in budgeting, financial forecasting, and strategic planning to ensure your unit meets its financial targets. Now, sometimes if you are an L1B applicant, they might ask you very specifically what makes your skills specialized. Now, to answer this question, first of all, you can provide a brief detail about your educational qualifications, emphasizing possession of at least an undergraduate degree or a relevant certification tied to your area of specialization. You could also outline your skills and specify your area of expertise. And if you've contributed to a product development within your company or you specialize in a particular field related to its operations, please mention that as well. Thereafter, you could also establish a connection between your expertise and the skills that you possess and the role you will be taking in the United States, highlighting how your experience and unique knowledge are crucial for the position and are not readily available in the US job market, and therefore it uniquely qualifies you to contribute for the successful execution of project in the US as a result of your specialized skills. You could also highlight in-depth knowledge about the company's products, services, or tools. And it is because of this valuable knowledge and skill set that you possess that your company wants to bring you to the United States to leverage your knowledge and expertise to benefit its operations in the United States. And if your role in the US involves training or mentoring US colleagues, also mention how your expertise and deep training is necessary for effective knowledge transfer and training of employees to make the US project a success. So friends, in this kind of questions, it is important to show a link between your expertise and a requirement in the US office for which you wish to travel. Now friends, if you are traveling to open a new office, you might be asked questions if you will have the authority to hire people for the job. Now this aspect is crucial for the L1 visa process, and therefore please answer it honestly and with clarity. If you have the authority to hire people, it strengthens your case because it showcases your ability to build a team and also provides evidence for financial viability, thereby indicating that you have resources to support the new office and the salary of L1 visa holder. However, even though the visa officer would prefer direct hires, that is employees, you could also suggest hiring subcontractors provided you are able to demonstrate and convince the visa officer that these contractors will not be performing any core functions of your new office. And as proof, please make sure to provide additional documentation such as detailed and robust contracts outlining the specific services subcontractors will provide and how these services will complement your role in establishing the US office. And friends, the last question. Could you elaborate on the size of the project you will be handling? And here you could answer, the size of my portfolio that I will be managing in the United States is these many millions of dollars. And as proof, you could carry a copy of your transfer letter detailing information about your role, designation, responsibilities, and also the size of your account. So friends, in conclusion, navigating the L1 visa interview is a critical step towards unlocking exciting professional opportunities here in the United States. If you're applying for an L1A visa, make sure to specify that you manage, oversee, direct your team to do things. And if you're applying for an L1B visa, make sure to highlight what is your area of expertise and how your skill set is different from what can be found in regular employees. By preparing thoroughly and articulating your qualifications and intentions clearly, you position yourself for success. Always remember, dress formally, stay confident, and ensure that your answers reflect your commitment to contributing to your company's goals and global objectives. May your L1 visa interview open doors to a rewarding and fulfilling professional chapter in the United States. Thank you so much for watching and best of luck in all your L1 visa endeavors. Till then, safe travels!